Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston, where the lawless element drifting in with gold seekers from the States found no encouragement to remain in the areas policed by the Northwest Mounted. Skagway, Alaska, all-year open seaport, entrance to the Yukon from United States territory. Skagway harbored some of the most vicious criminals of the time, defiant to all but a handful of United States Marines. In a vacated cabin on the outskirts of town, Sergeant Preston prepared himself for a dangerous mission.
Hello, King, old fella. Hey, I'm sorry I'm unable to take you with me, old boy. I'm afraid someone might recognize you. You know, we have no authority here in Skagway. If the man we're after sees through my disguise, it could mean serious trouble. There, how's that, boy? Will I pass for a dog puncher?
Each cafe had its own particular patrons of disreputable character. At the Miners' Rest, it was Big Ike Bancroft and his followers whenever they came in from Daya, a small settlement up the inlet from Skagway where Big Ike owned the principal hotel.
I raise you, Rebo.
Big Ike, I stay.
You make a mistake, Rebo. How many cards?
3.
And the dealer takes 2. Hey, much? I'll teach you to flirt while you're with me. You're not going anywhere, Miss Dayton.
Just because you hired me to sing in your hotel is no sign you own me. Let me go.
Just a minute, mister. The lady meant no harm.
You mind your own business, dog. That's him, Captain. That's your man.
What's your name, mister?
First he tries to steal my girl, then he picks a fight with me. I demand you arrest him.
You look like Happy Jack Wilson. What if I do?
Happy Jack Wilson, huh? We've been warned about you. You've got a record as a troublemaker.
Well, go ahead. Book him for assault and battery.
Anything to say, Wilson? All right, men, bring him along.
You remember this. If I ever see that dog puncher again, I'll cut him in half with a .44. You can tell him I said so.
I've never seen him before.
You just remember that. That ought to cover everything. I'll see you later, Rebo. We're going to die before that Marine captain gets any more ideas.
Bring him in, men. All right, that's all. Welcome to Skagway, Sergeant Preston.
And a royal one it was, Captain Arnold.
I never expected you to give me a real reason to arrest you.
And it was an accident. I assume you've received Inspector McMurdoch's letter.
Yes, but it didn't say too much. Sit down, Sergeant.
Well, the inspector thought it best that I brief you personally.
Well, with males as they are, he's probably right. He gave me a description of your disguise and told me I'd see you at Miners' Rest Cafe. Requested your arrest, but that was all.
Well, I'll fill you in. Less than a month ago, a criminal using the alias of Fingers Malloy slugged and robbed a gold convoy guard of $50,000 and escaped with the loot.
You believe he came to Skagway?
Definitely. We lost track of Malloy. We were able to keep an old pal of his named Mal Rebo in sight, hoping he'd lead us to Malloy.
What made you think he would?
Well, one night in Dawson, Rebo was overheard bragging that he'd never go broke as long as he knew Finger's secret hideout.
Blackmailer, huh?
And a coward to boot. Rebo passed through our checkpoint at Whitehorse on his way to Chilcote about 3 days ago, and he was broke at the time.
Did you spot him in Skagway on your arrival this morning?
Well, I've been very fortunate. He was playing cards in the Miners' Rest Cafe with the fellow that fought with me.
Big Ike Bancroft. He owns a hotel in Daya. Wouldn't I like to get him behind bars? We think he's mixed up with a gang of gold smugglers. Of course, we don't have enough on him as yet. Big Ike. He's quite a guy. But go on, Sergeant.
Well, that's about all, except that Rebo seems to have money again. Sure sign he's tapping someone.
You keep a watch on Bancroft. He's got his hand in some way. Now, what can we do to help?
There isn't much you can do until I find Malloy's hideout. Then I'll need your official help to make the arrest, as I have no authority this side of the border.
Pleasure, Sergeant. By the way, where are you staying in Skagway?
In an old vacant cabin out on Creek Road. Belongs to a dog puncher friend of mine who's in 40 Mile. Not only borrowed his house and dog run, but his last name as well.
We're prepared to help you at a moment's notice, Sergeant.
Well, I've heard that about the United States Marines. That's their reputation. Thank you.
Captain, you've got to listen to reason.
Impossible, Rebo. My ship, the Northern Lights, is a freighter. And I have strict orders from our owners never to take on passengers at any price. It's impossible.
Oh, but not even for $500 apiece? Well, that's $1,000. It's a small fortune, Captain. And the owners, they don't even have to know anything about it.
You seem to have forgotten the crew. Why, the news would be all over the ship 5 minutes after you came aboard.
I'm offering an awful lot of money, Captain.
And my job is worth a lot more. I'm afraid you'll have to find yourself another ship. Good evening.
Well, what a small world if it isn't Happy Jack Wilson's the name I'm using now, Captain.
Mind if I sit down?
Please do.
What's this all about, Sergeant? What are you doing in Skagway?
I'll tell you later. Perhaps you can give me some information about Rebo.
Who's that man with Higsby?
This isn't a good place to talk, Captain. Can you meet me at Marine headquarters in a half an hour?
Sure, I'll be there. Glad to have seen you, Jack.
All right.
Well, I just dropped by to tell you how much I admire your fighting style. My name's Rebo. Thought those Marines were going to put you in jail.
Well, your friend didn't come down to press charges. He left me off with a warning.
That big Ike, he's no friend of mine. But I noticed that you were friendly with Captain Higsby.
Yes, I am.
I was just thinking, how'd you like to make a few extra dollars?
Maybe. What do I have to do?
You got a dog team?
Yeah?
Suppose we talk this over in the back room.
Always willing to listen.
After listening to Mal Rebo, Preston knew he was on the trail of the wanted criminal Fingers Malloy. If Preston could book passage for him and a friend on Captain Higsby's ship, Rebo offered to pay the disguised Mountie $500. Pretending to consider Rebo's proposition, Preston left the cafe to pick up King.
If all goes well, fella, we'll be going home soon. I'm going to need your help, understand? I'm going to show you how to find Marine headquarters. You may have to go there for yourself for help if I run into trouble, huh? Okay.
Why don't you relax, Higsby? Preston will be here shortly.
That's all very well for you to say. But you haven't the responsibility of a ship that has to leave port in 18 hours. And I've got a lot to do. If he doesn't show up pretty soon, believe me,
Sorry I'm late, gentlemen, but the delay was necessary and helpful. Captain Arnold, this is Yukon King, a regular member of the force. I've just taught him how to reach you in case I need emergency assistance.
A good idea, Sergeant. A fine dog. I envy you.
It's getting late.
Sit down, gentlemen, please. Now, Sergeant, we may have your plan of action.
Simply and in a few words. I've been propositioned by Rebo to persuade Captain Higsby here to book Rebo and another man who's probably the fugitive Malloy aboard a steamer.
Now, wait a minute.
Hear him out first, Captain.
At 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, I'm to pick Rebo up with my dog team on the outskirts of town. He'll guide me to the hideout of his mysterious friend.
Go on, Sergeant.
Well, according to Rebo's plans, I'm to bring both men back on my sled to an abandoned dock on the other side of Pier 40, where Captain Higsby will have a boat waiting to take him aboard his ship.
I'll do no such thing.
Now, please wait till you hear the rest of my story. Your ship will be manned by Captain Arnold and his men, who will be disguised as seamen. They'll make the arrest. Now, do you still object, Higsby?
Well, no, as long as my sailing isn't delayed.
Good. How about you, Captain Arnold?
Excellent, Sergeant. We'll be there when you arrive.
Fine, then everything's settled. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Come on, King.
You may not be a Marine, Higsby, but I wish you were.
As arranged, Preston picked up Rebo the next afternoon and drove him to Daya, a small settlement 4 miles north of Skagway.
Easy! Everybody down!
Okay, George.
Yes, sir.
Howdy, man.
Hello. I saw you arrive, and I came down to warn you.
Warn me about what?
Leave here as fast as you can. Big Ike's inside and means to kill you on sight.
Big Ike watched while Preston tied King outside the hotel to make him appear to be an ordinary dog. Ike could have shot Preston from where he stood, but the gambler hesitated. He thought of Preston as a dangerously curious dog puncher and wanted to know his connection with the blackmailer Rebo. If Big Ike had been distrustful of Rebo before, he was doubly so now.
Well, did you work it?
Everything's arranged, Fingers, for a price. There's a dog puncher named Happy Jack Wilson waiting outside now with a team and a sled. And he's going to run us into an old pier on the other side of Pier 40.
How do you know he will? How do you know he hasn't already tipped off the police?
Money talks and mine's been shouting. So just simmer down, Fingers. I know what I'm doing.
That's just what I'm afraid of. Sometimes you're too slick. Go get yourself something to eat. I'll take over.
All right, thanks.
With that sixth sense given to animals of superior intelligence, King knew that Preston was in danger. Although Preston heard the warning barks, he had committed himself to a plan which he was determined to carry through.
So that's the way it is it, Rebo?
Those are my terms, Finger. I happen to know you got $50,000 in that gold haul, and I want my share of it.
Meaning what?
Meaning half of it. Are you going to stay here and rot?
I'll see you dead first.
You're making a big mistake, Fingers. You haven't got a chance of getting out of this town without my help. You stay here, and sooner or later, Big Ike is going to be tired of you getting in his hair. You better think it over, Fingers.
Why should Big Ike worry about me? He's getting rich on that smuggling operation over on the inlet.
What if I told him that you have $50,000 in cash? You think he's going to stand still for the measly few dollars that you gave him for helping you hide out? Come on now, be sensible. He'll take it all.
Okay. But you're not getting half. 10,000, take it or leave it.
I'll take it. But I want it now, Fingers, before we leave this room.
Then get it yourself. It's under the mattress. If you think you're leaving me with these two to get rid of fingers, you're crazy. Neither of them are dead yet, and you finish your own dirty work.
What?
Now what's eating you?
Do you know who this is?
No, who, an informer?
Where's the Mountie? It's Sergeant Preston.
A Mountie? You'd better get rid of him quick.
Killing a Mountie's as good as committing suicide.
You know what you've done, you lame-brained idiot? You've just ruined the perfect gold smuggling setup south of Nome.
Let me go. You brought Rebo here, not me.
That doesn't matter. Now we're both in the soup. Where are you going to pick up the boat from the steamer?
Rebo and I were shipping out from an old warehouse in Skagway.
Must have been a trap. We'll have to change the plans. We'll roll down the inlet in my skiff, direct to my smuggling schooner. It's our only chance now.
What's all this we stuff?
You fool, do you think I can stay here now? We'll have every Marine from Skagway here in 24 hours. Do you know what that means? That means they'll search every inch of this hotel. They're bound to find some evidence of my smuggling setup. And if I'm lucky, they'll still connect me with you. Not to mention Rebo's murder. I'll meet you in the lobby in 10 minutes. We'll use the Mountie's sled team to take us to my private dock.
George?
All right, you huskies, on your feet, line up!
On your feet, you mutts. We're getting out of here.
All right, let's go!
It's that big lead dog. He's telling the team not to go.
I'll take care of him.
Put that away. What are you trying to do? Bring the whole town over here to see what's going on?
What'll we do? Preston's team won't move while that lead dog tells them not to.
We'll have to get out of here on foot. It isn't far. We'll take the woods path instead of the trail.
He's dead. You say Big Ike and Fingers are on their way to the inlet, huh?
Yes.
Well, obviously, they must have some means of escape there.
Well, they do. Big Ike's been using Daya Emmett for years to smuggle out contraband gold. He's made him rich. They've got a secret dock and a skiff there.
Yeah, that means they intend to reach the steamer by water instead of going by the way of Skagway. That changes my plans completely. I'll have to head them off.
You're taking your life in your hands by doing this. Why? Certainly not for revenge. You're not the type. I think I have a right to know.
I'm very grateful for all you've done for me. Someday soon, perhaps I'll be able to give you an explanation. I'm sending for the Marines. King. Yes, I know you want to go. Sit. Captain Arnold, King. Go to Captain Arnold at Marine Headquarters. Understand? Captain Arnold at Marine Headquarters. Now go, King.
What a wonderful dog.
What route do I take to get to the inlet?
Well, that's the only trail you can take a sled through.
Well, with the load they're carrying on foot, I should still be able to head them off.
Shall I ever see you again, Jack?
Perhaps. But maybe next time you won't recognize me. Thanks for everything, and goodbye.
I don't quite understand, but good luck.
All right, on you, Husky!
Professor.
The dog sled.
Yeah, somebody's coming down the other trail toward the inlet.
Come on, let's go, quick.
Why, it's King. Hello, old fellow. Come here, old boy. Wait a minute. Mathers, have Sergeant Cassidy report outside with 3 men. On the double. If I had 6 men just like you, policing Skagway would be a Sunday school picnic. All right. Pull, Husky! On you, Husky! Ho, ho! All right, down, everybody.
Now we've got no choice. It's the Mountie or us.
Fingers! Big Eye! Give up before it's too late!
You have no jurisdiction in Alaska, Mountie. You're strictly on your own. Shoot us and it's murder.
What do we do now?
I've got an idea. I know this area. There's a ridge up there behind him. You keep him busy. I'll crawl up there and get him from there.
All right.
Take over, Cassidy. Well, Sergeant, you've certainly done yourself a good day's work.
Might have been my epitaph, but for King here.
Come here, boy. Come on.
Well, Captain, King and I have finished our work here in Skagway.
We'll send Fingers, Malloy, and the $50,000 you recovered back to Dawson under guard when the extradition papers come through. We've got enough evidence against Big Ike to send him to jail for a long time. Sergeant, I'm sorry to see you leave.
Well, thanks, Captain. Thanks for your hospitality and your cooperation.
It's a pleasure. And you, old fellow, anytime you get tired of the Northwest Mounted, you come around to the United States Marines.
Well, King already believes in your motto, Semper Fidelis. Always faithful. Oh, I doubt whether he'll ever leave us. That right, old fellow?
Those men of yours tried to keep me out of here, Captain.
Well, I can see it didn't do them much good.
I just had to see you before I left.
Are you leaving Skagway?
Yes, under the circumstances, I think it's best. I'm taking the next boat to Vancouver. But not before I give you this.
You know you're going against Mountie regulations, Miss Arnold. Only the Crown can reward a Northwest Mounted policeman.
Well, there's nothing that says I may not reward King.
Well, say goodbye to the lady like a gentleman, King. This case is closed.